Hello, boys and girls of the internet. I just wanted to give you my quick review. I just went to go see Dark Phoenix, probably the last of the X-Men movies from Fox Studios. Now that Disney owns the rights to them, who knows what they're going to do with that. But I just want to give my quick impression of it. There's a lot of reviewers out there that have mixed feelings of it. I've seen a lot more negative reviews for it than positive. And to be honest, I like this movie. It wasn't like, super amazing, awesome X-Men movie, but it wasn't terrible. I think people nowadays, and I saw one other person say this, and I wholeheartedly agree, that people today, for some reason, feel that if it's not like a super amazing, awesome movie, like especially in the world of comic book movies, they're overly critical. So, like, unless you're an Avengers movie, and you're not up to that level of quality, then you're shit. That's what a lot of people, seem to think. And I don't think that's the case. Not with this movie. It's a good movie. Again, it's not the best, and it's not the best X-Men movie, in my opinion. But it's up there. There was a little. Some people said that there was some parts in it that seemed a little. How can I say? Because like the director of it, I guess he doesn't do action movies, so it wasn't all that action-y throughout it. But it had the action that it needed to have. I will say, though, that there is one criticism of the movie that I did kind of feel, through the movie, but I noticed it at the end. One person commented that, we all know the story, or most of us know the story of Jean Grey being, this Phoenix. And in the movie, they kind of say, once she starts having these Phoenix powers, everybody kind of treats her like she's like a, the super evil thing that needs to be, destroyed, and that, she's going to destroy, kill everybody, blah, blah, blah. Well, she doesn't really show that in the movie, that the extent of her powers is warrants her being destroyed, It doesn't warrant, like everybody being against her, she's, they like over emphasize her threat level from what she is being portrayed as. Now, by the end of the movie, she does show that, she has some amazing, ability to, once she controls her ability to kind of do some destruction if she wants to. And that end sequence is amazing. People were kind of complaining that, the last sequence is just only on a train, and you're confined to a train area. You saw it in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything. But the way they did it, the action sequence, is an amazing action sequence for being on a train. They utilized this confined space beautifully. I did hear that the last scene, the last action scene, had to be reshot. Like the whole sequence had to be reshot or something. I don't know if that's true or not, or how much of it has been reshot. But whatever they did to it, it is pretty amazing. Like, they did some awesome things. I liked some of the cool things they did with Magneto in this movie. Even some of the like Storm. Storm's always been one of my favorite characters. What I did like about this movie is that, unlike some other movies, or very much unlike X-Men 3, from way back ago when they tried to do a Phoenix Saga in that one, this one wasn't overblown with mutants. Like, in those other X-Men movies, they try to put more and more mutants in there. This one, they show more, side mutants. Like, I think there's one shot of a character that was supposed to be Dazzler, but they don't reference her by name, so I don't know if that was her. I should have checked for the credits. But they were kind of just like, the kids in the school, in the Xavier school. But for like the main parts of the movie, they don't really have like 5 or 6 mutants, 5 or 6 X-Men, a couple more mutants here and there. So they didn't overblow it. So I kind of like that. Also, again, I do like that end action sequence. Overall, I'll give this movie a pretty high, rating. Like I said, it wasn't the best X-Men movie. On the scale from X-Men 3 to Logan, X3 is way down here. Logan way up here. Logan was my favorite X-Men movie of all time. And put all the other X-Men movies in between there. I'm not going to rate them, give you where everything places, but I think right before Logan, I would put X-Men Days of Future Past. No, wait. I'm trying to think what I would put right before Logan. Right underneath Logan, I'd probably put Days of Future Past. And X-Men First Class right underneath that. So I would say this one is probably right underneath that, right around where First Class is. They did a pretty good job with that. Now, of course, one thing that everybody's wondering is where's X-Men going to go from here? And we know that because of the events of Days of Future Past, the X-Men world from then on is splintered. It doesn't. People are like, "Oh, this movie set in 1992." This one, Dark Phoenix, and that's only a few years before the very first X-Men movie. How does that tie in? It doesn't. It's a totally different timeline. Everything's different, so don't confuse the two. Everything most everything that happens in First Class and Days of Future Past, it kind of retcons the older X-Men movies, but it kind of says like, okay, yeah, those events happened, but these are new events that are splintering off. And so, that's one way to look at it. But this was a good movie. It's almost unfortunate that this movie is going to be Fox's last X-Men movie, because I think they did a pretty good job with this one, and if they wanted to, they could have made another one after this and just kind of continued on with it. But now everything X-Men related is probably going to have to be scrapped and start over from scratch. Whatever Disney does with the property, whatever Marvel Studios does with the property, it's so up in the air. Nobody knows what's going to happen there, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I hope they, treat it with, respect, because X-Men's a very, venerable property. I hope they don't treat it like some redheaded stepchild that they just got, just for, this is a kind of supplement the MCU. I hope they do a really good job with it. Yeah, that's my thoughts on X-Men and Dark Phoenix movie here. Definitely go see it. I don't regret seeing it in a theater. It's a good watch, I think. Again, a lot of people are torn on this movie, saying, "Oh, it's really bad. It's worse even than X-Men 3." No, it's not worse than X-Men 3. It's way better than X-Men 3. X3 pissed me the fuck off. That movie was terrible. This one is not terrible. I enjoyed it. There's one of the last scenes where Jean Grey, as the Phoenix, was doing some badass things. I was like, my jaw was open. It was pretty cool. So definitely go watch it and let me know what you think. So quick review. So I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. I love it. Alright, one more thing I did want to mention about Dark Phoenix, I almost forgot to include in my review, is a little bit of personal criticism. There's a couple people who are mistaken with this movie, and I just want to clear the air. Some people are all like, they saw the trailer, like, wait a minute, she gets like some weird thing in the space, and when she's on the spaceship, that goes into her, some like, mist stuff, looks like a solar flare or whatever. Does that give her the Phoenix power? And then they're like, wait, if that happened, then how come in X-Men Apocalypse, she kind of looks like she has the Phoenix power? That doesn't make any sense. Does this movie retcon that? No, you guys are wrong. Jean Grey is born with the Phoenix power, and they kind of set that up from in this movie as she was a kid. She has it in her. Whatever hit her in the beginning of Dark Phoenix amplified that. It amplified it tremendously, and they give that to you in the movie. And if you watch the movie and you don't understand that that's how it happened, I don't know what to tell you, because it was pretty clear to me that that's exactly what they were going for, is that she always had it in her. I don't know if that's true in the comics. To be honest with you, I don't remember that in the comics. I think in the comics she did always have it, but it's been so long since I read like the original Phoenix comics, long time ago. I know they've redone the Phoenix saga a couple of times, or reintroduced it, or did it in different ways, or stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This movie doesn't retcon anything from, the First Class to Days of Future Past or Apocalypse. That was a dumb movie, Apocalypse. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there as a last minute aside, as I remember to mention that, or I forgot to mention it. So, bye.